Hello everyone and welcome back guys, back to episode 2 of our F1 2020 Fantasy Formula 1 team recap, where we are back once again after a bit of a better weekend this time round for myself. Obviously, if you missed out on last week's video, I would highly recommend going back and check it out. You know, we got into the league, everything like that. Obviously, if you haven't already joined the league, make sure you click down below as well. Obviously, there'll be the link, the sign-up code for that as well. Obviously, you might get featured on these videos if you do well enough in our F1 2020 league. But obviously, having a bit of a recap of the weekend then, once again, it was, again, a crazy race for one lap at the beginning and then 5 laps at the end, which is all a little bit weird and wonderful, but that's how Formula 1 goes sometimes. Charles Leclerc, we've learned now, still loves a good dive bomb. He probably should have timed it on Max Verstappen for revenge for last year, rather than on his teammate, but each to their own, I guess. Who really worries too much about that, apart from all the Ferrari fans that then had a meltdown on Twitter. But yeah, apart from that though, obviously the last few laps once again were quite crazy. Lando Norris on lap 71 of Grand Prix is an absolute madman. So he's kind of screwed when we go to Hungary next week, because if I'm not mistaken, it's only a 70-lap Grand Prix. But anyway, yeah, we'll worry about that when we cross that bridge as well. But yeah, brilliant race once again. I personally did quite enjoy it. You know, we sort of watched all these strategies play out, and then it all sort of built up right at the very end, and yeah, it was brilliant to see at the end of the day. But looking at our 3 teams though, did much better than last week. You can see our experimental team did better than our meme team, because Ferrari drivers exist and like to crash into each other. But yeah, having a quick recap then of our teams. You can see our experimental team, Grosjean, Magnussen, Raikkonen doing alright, picking up some fairly okay points, I guess. And then you can see Russell and Latifi there. Russell is our turbo, was actually our worst scorer of the day, so he didn't really help us out all too much on that side of things there. But Latifi only scoring 4 points as well. I feel like they've changed the system slightly for this week, but I don't know for sure. Maybe I am wrong. Perhaps it is the same as it has been as well there. And you can see Williams as well only picked us up 2 points. So if I'm not mistaken, the Williams team and their drivers did as well as Grosjean for us this week. So that kind of does say it all. Our meme team though, Leclerc, Mr. Dive Bomb, unfortunately cost us 13 points. Taking out Sebastian Vettel cost us another 9 points, so that was wonderful. And then Alex Albon picking up a good 24 points. Now, I had a bit of a rough day, to be honest. I know he's got a lot of flack on Twitter for it as well. But, you know, he scored points at the end of the day. Both Red Bulls got home. I think they can be happy with that when all is said and done. He held on to P4, despite being almost pit manoeuvred again for the second week running in exactly the same place. But Kvyat was our highest scorer because he was our turbo. Again, had a pretty quiet race out. Didn't really see much from Mr. Torpedo himself, but I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. And then Raikkonen, from what I gather, actually had to slow down and lost points at the end because he had to save fuel. So good job, Alfa Romeo, as well there. And you can see AlphaTauri, 7 points. Again, a pretty quiet weekend by them. It seemed to be that we started to see Formula 1, Formula 1.1, Formula 1.5, and then Formula 1.8 of Mercedes in their own league. Red Bull fairly close behind, well, Max Verstappen fairly close behind him. Then a brilliant battle between McLaren, Racing Point, and Renault. And probably Ferrari will be there as well. And then you get AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Williams, Haas, and why am I forgetting? No, I have remembered everyone as well there. So yeah, unfortunately, obviously with those two taking each other out, Albon having a pretty okay day at the office, and then these two being in weak teams as well as our team, didn't quite get the points I wanted. So yeah, our meme team managed to do worse than our experimental team. But then we move over onto the big dog. I'm sure the one you've already noticed. 288 points. That is what I'm talking about. We lost 20 because of, obviously, our driver swap. So we actually got 308 points from this week, which I was very happy with. We mega drivered Lewis Hamilton, like I said last week. I'm sure he'd come back much stronger this week. Pole position by over a second. Led every lap of the Grand Prix. Won the race. I think he got the maximum score he could do there of #44, #blessed as well there. Perez, he could have got a couple more points for us had he not decided to drive into the back of, obviously, Sergio Perez. No, he couldn't have driven into the back of himself. If he hadn't driven into the back of Albon, he could have scored us a few more points there. Lando Norris, obviously we turboed him, so he scored us another 60 points. and he was the best driver that we could have turboed, so we'll take that rather happily as well. There obviously had a brilliant final lap, so a good job done by him. Bottas, plus 33, a pretty quiet day in the office, but obviously he got P2, so a very good job by him. And Lance Stroll actually doing very, very well. I was pleasantly surprised by Lance Stroll's pace this weekend in the end. I always sort of worry now Perez is in a good car that can make him really prove himself towards the top that Stroll was going to get completely slapped. But didn't quite happen. Lance Stroll had a good weekend. I'm more than happy to admit that. And then Racing Point as well got us 39 points as well. So 288 had we not made a couple of subs there. We might have lost out points to how many more we scored, but 308 points is a very, very good result there. As you can see, having a look at a couple of leagues there, we're 2,119th in the F1 YouTube official league, 3,149th in the Mercedes league, 3,700th in the UK, and 8,000th in the Global League out of, I don't know how many people. I'm guessing quite a few. Who is top scorer? That is quite impressive. Can we have a look at their team from last week? No. So I'm guessing they've kept their team. Oh, no, they did make a couple of subs there, so they timed that rather well as well at the end of the day there. And yeah, I think that's, 540 points is very, very good going at this stage of the season there by them. But yeah, 450,000 teams, and we're 8,000th in the world. Things you love to see there. What's that? The top 2%, I think? No. Yeah, no, I think it's even higher than that. We're inside 45... Yeah, about top 2%, I think, if I'm not mistaken there. But in terms, though, of the big league, obviously the most important one, our 212 league there. You can see we've got 227 members, so a big, big thank you to everyone that has joined as well. Obviously, like I said at the start, if you haven't joined already, click down below and you can get yourself involved still before the season obviously comes to an end. Unfortunately, last week, obviously I mentioned this guy, top scorer in the world. He decided that'd be a good idea to join our league and absolutely smash everyone. So welcome to the league, Sam. But please show us all mercy, I beg. But you can see he's actually very, very close behind him. From MF Ham Sandwich, 448 points on the board for him. He mega drivered Hamilton, turboed Perez, so good result by him. And then Stroll as well, so he's got a very, very similar team to us, except for he's got Giovinazzi instead of Bottas. And then Mercedes scored him a lot of points as well, so that might be worth considering in the near future as well. But a very, very good job done by him. I think that's Brandon Dorr, Task Force 143, in third place there, ahead of Garib Mercedes. The backmarkers, that is not a backmarker in P5 there. A very, very good job done by him. 72 with Mercedes, both racing points. Norris, Hamilton, and George Russell for some reason. Might want to try and get someone a little bit better in there, buddy, for the near future. It very, very much seems like Williams don't really stand a chance in this, the way the points work now. Yeah, it just seems like they can't really do much unless the car suddenly gets a lot better, which I'm guessing that's what you're banking on, but you never really know for sure. Then you can see there's a three-way tie, but some guy's got all... Has he got three of exactly the same team? I was going to say that's rather impressive if he doesn't. Are they different teams? That is impressive, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's the same. Oh, they're all the same. Damn it, I was gutted then. I was going to say, that is good going if you've got three different teams with exactly the same score after 2 weeks' worth of racing there. But we're just 2 points back now. We're into the top 10. Despite a lot of people probably haven't used their Mega Driver next. But we're inside the top 10. That's exactly what we like to see. There you can see Nexus F1 team just behind us. And then VSR GC George as well. Just 3 points back. So we've got a lot of competition right behind us still as we get ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix this weekend. Having a look further down the order, though, you can see we're only about 39 points clear of 20th there. But you can see the backmarkers team 2 doing very, very well up in P18. We got a couple of teams there by David, 14th and 15th. Different teams though; they've got different scores. That's Hamilton good, Verstappen good, Kvyat, Giovinazzi, and then obviously Perez is his turbo, very good choice with that, and then McLaren as well on 31. Further down the order, you can see there we've got TSG Awesome, 376 points, and then David's third team there as well, who's actually worse than his other teams. That's a bit embarrassing, buddy. But they are down in P25, tied with Bottas World Championship 2020. I'd like your optimism. I really, really do. Further down, though, we've got the Boys version 1 in 27th. Beast Formula 1 team. I love some of these names. They are brilliant there. And then a big tie, actually, for 30th. 7 people tied for 30th place there. 30th place there. That is good going. Further down the order, though, you can see where are some other people. See everyone there going down to about 50th. That is... okay, that's an interesting name there for 49th place. We'll gloss over that one. You can see further down the order. Let's have a look. Whereabouts is... how many points is 100th on? I don't know why the scroll is so slow. Obviously, you start to see a lot more ties further down. 300 points would get you inside the top 93. And then we have got in tied for 99th, a four-way tie there between Biblical GP, Spiros Team 1, Rizgi Team 2, and the Human Pokédex Racing. Another interesting name there, all on 294 points. Will get you inside the top 100. Further down, there's obviously my good mate Kyle, 285 points and 110th. Then right behind him is Pink Plebs, Colin Letford, as well, obviously someone that I've league raced a bit with in the past as well. Then we've got Sid, I think it is, in 113th, just 1 point behind Connor. Further down, though, having a bit of a look, Jack Harriley, obviously we were tied with him at the end of last week, but we're now way ahead of him in 116th place there. There's George's second team, 123rd. There's George's third team at 128th, so all nice and close there as well. Further down the order, though, you can see Kyle's original team, actually, losing a bit of ground there, down around the 140th mark. There's Ryan, Baltimore GP in 160th. And then there's Jamie, 183 Esports, 167th. He may as well be 183rd, mate, with those sorts of low scores there. Further down, though, where are our other teams? 216th and 224th. Not looking so good for the meme team and my experimental team. There you can see, have the guys behind us even scored? No, so we got one guy there that hasn't got a team, who's somehow joined the league without a team there. So our experimental team is last. We're inside the top 10 and we're last in our own league. Things you love to see. And there's our meme team as well, to just sit down in 216th place there. So we're last. I'm actually more impressed with that than being 10th at the moment, though. However, heading into next week, quickly, obviously, before we finish this up, do I change anyone out? Looking at more sort of a downforce-based circuit, I think Racing Point, once again, should be quite strong. Bottas and Hamilton, I'm tempted, actually, to get Bottas back out and stick Verstappen in there. We're going to risk it. We're going to go Bottas out and Verstappen in this week. Obviously, Hamilton and Bottas had a fantastic battle last week out as well. As you can see, a few little changes there with the total value. But yeah, we're going to lob Verstappen in. He's a little bit cheaper. But we've now total value of 103 million. So I'm not too sure how we've managed that. So we've actually gained 3.4 million from our team altogether there. So yeah, we've gone with Verstappen this week, who actually lost a 23% decrease in people using him from last week. As Hamilton, 76%. Oh, 76% to price decrease, sorry. Even I should say there. So yeah, we've changed it around then. Can I change the turbo for free? I hope I can. Let's have a look. We're going to turbo up. We're going to turbo up Perez this week. I think after last week, he obviously had a good race out. And he's going to be coming back strong once again. And I feel like McLaren, you know, they've had a fantastic start to the season. I just don't know whether Hungary will suit them as well here. So I'm going to turbo up Perez as well there. So Hamilton, still obviously our lead man there with Verstappen, Perez, Stroll, Norris, and a Racing Point for week 3 of the season there. But yeah, good week 2. Obviously, we're probably going to lose a few places now as more and more people start to use their Mega Driver. But that'll do us for this video, though, guys. Make sure, obviously, if you're new around here, you do get yourself subscribed as well. Obviously, click the link to join the league below. Obviously, use our code. We want to try and get up to 250 people, if possible, as well. But yeah, that'll do us for this video, though, guys. And hopefully, I will see you next time out after the Hungarian Grand Prix. This video was helped made possible by our first channel member. A big thank you to the Travesty for becoming a member of our channel. You can join him and be featured on these end clips as well as a few other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join icon below.